we have a traffic management unit, and they work hand in hand with LASMA. Okay. I think there is also a conscious, there's an awareness now by stakeholders that if you drive the one-way streets in Lagos Island, you're about to get nabbed, and you face the wrath of the law. The issue of street trading, which is being addressed, and when I say street trading, in particular, Lagos Island is actually the trading on the walkways. If you are trading on the walkways, what happens? The pedestrians have to walk.
Move on the road.
On the road. So if we are now, I believe, handling effectively through corrective actions and enforcement this trend of trading on the walkways, so the pedestrians are taking ownership back of the walkways. And of course, once the pedestrians are off the road, there is smooth.
Cars can move.
The minibuses, the Danfo buses, controlled by the NURTW, they're a very orderly group, I must say. There is sufficient interaction, a lot of interaction between the Ministry of Transport and our humble selves, the CBD. And I believe that if you go through Nnamdi Azikiwe now,
there's significant order.
Yes, there is significant order.
Let me ask you, so that we put all of this together, what really is your vision for the CBD? What are you trying to create in that CBD?
We're now in the 21st
century.
Yeah, 21st century. We want a 22nd century arrangement that is business friendly, trader friendly, that invites tourists to come in, that is that is secure, no security challenges, and also most importantly that has nightlife revived. The old Lagos Island was a focal point of entertainment, nightlife.
Hotels, nightclubs,
restaurants, all forms of culture, activities. I mean, that's where the cinemas. We want that to be revived, and that is what we're working to. But I must add at this point that this can only be achieved. It's not Special Advisor Central Business District. It must be achieved by private sector participation. Private sector, very integral stakeholder in the Central Business District.
Okay, let me take a short time out. I'll come back and we'll continue this conversation around how the private sector can take part in developing the CBD. And we'll talk about the stakeholders meeting you had with the private sector. We'll be right back. You're welcome back. It's my final segment with Mrs. Jane Diso. She's a lawyer, she's an insurance executive, she was chairman of Lagos Island Local Government, and she's now the special advisor to the Lagos State Governor on Central Business Districts. Mrs. Diso, let me ask you, you had, and I participated in it, so I know, you had a very successful, I would say, engagement with the private sector just some weeks back. Why did you convene that meeting, and what do you think it achieved?
That meeting was on January 29, 2014. And it was obvious that we needed the private sector to buy into the vision of restructuring and reinvigorating the Central Business District. Mainly because, as we said, it's in their enlightened self-interest to make sure that the Central Business District works. So really the reason for that meeting was to bring about awareness and to inculcate some kind of confidence into the private sector. That who are we working with? Who is the CBD? Who mans it? What do we have to offer? What is Lagos State? How serious is Lagos State taking Central Business Districts?
And one of your objectives was to get people to be aware of the economic or investment opportunities.
Oh, yes.
What are those opportunities?
Oh, there are many. For the natural waterfront immediately should attract waterfront development. And that is just one of many. The Central Business District, Lagos Island in entirety, has a Bible. And that is the Lagos Island West Strategic Master Plan. This was an action taken by the Lagos State government to actually group the areas into development areas. There was a need for some cohesive document that would encourage buying in and that would guide developers. And that is what we are using.
And that has provisions for hotels, the recreational district, the financial district, the waterfront area, the outer marina. And so all of these represent opportunities that people in the private sector can tie into. Excellent. So what should we expect going forward from your office? What are the things we should look forward to? What are the plans and programs you have for the CBD?
Well, I know there is, you will see active private sector participation. There have been, very weighty responses, weighty actions, processes have been put into place. So you expect, or you will see, private sector taking ownership of the Central Business District. You'll also see more awareness and more responsiveness from other stakeholders. Don't forget, we have traders in the Central Business District, and they also realize the need that for them to be able to sell, for commerce to progress, they need to buy in by working hand in hand with the private sector. So you're going to have a livable city at the end of the day. There was a Cleveland option that we mentioned at the conference, at the meeting. This was a group of men and women in Cleveland, Ohio, in the 70s, who were experiencing what Lagos Island Central Business District has been experiencing. But they put their hands together, they rolled up their sleeves, and they turned that Cleveland, Ohio downside into a downtown that became a jewel, that became a global example of what the private sector can do once they join hands and determine to move their environments forward.
Excellent. One of the things that was mentioned at that meeting, I remember, maybe something we can see fairly, I don't know how soon, is the cable car project. Is that on the cards?
Oh yes, it's coming on. It's purely private sector, funded, and we expect to see some developments, construction by 2015. I think we'll see structures coming up, but it's something that we're all looking forward to. It's from Apapa to Lagos Island through Ikoyi to Victoria Island, and I think it will be an iconic.
We're going to be able to go on those cable cars.
Yes, and when you go on the cable cars, you will look down. You will see Lagos Island with new parking lots, a marina city, and waterside developments, and a cleaner Lagos Island. So it's going to be a view to look forward to.
Thank you very much for the work you're doing.
Thank you so
much. And for
much.
coming on the Policy Council.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. That was a very interesting discussion. There are many aspects of that conversation I would like to bring out. One, this was a private citizen, somebody in business from a privileged background, who saw problems, who got involved, who ended up in government trying to do something about it. That's an example for many of us Nigerians. On the other hand, the Lagos State government, through the CBD office, is trying to transform the Lagos Island area and create a world-class CBD, which can be a model for other central business districts in Lagos State and across the Nigeria, and indeed across Africa. The efforts are worthy of our support, and the private sector in particular is invited to take part in building Lagos Island, a natural central business district, into something comparable to anyone will find anywhere in the world. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.